our students every year. It is part of, that's why we have a trimester system instead of a semester system. The third trimester is a field activity where all students are mandated to go to the field in the various catchment areas, especially the hinterlands and the villages, to undertake some community engagement. And these monies are meant to be disbursed to all staff who are on that activity, the field supervisors and all that. So the accountant on the program is Mr. Mohammed Fuseni. Normally, when they submit their budget, for every activity, that amount of money for that activity is disbursed to him. Then he goes to the field to disburse to the beneficiaries and retire the funds until the next activity. So it's not like we disburse that total amount of 1 million in bulk to him, but as and when the activities are going to be embarked on, he takes the money and goes to the field to disburse, because this is a field activity and you have to confirm that the person is actually embarking on the activity. But the auditors recommended that we should open a separate bank account for it, which we have done now, but still he manages the bank account.
No, but the infraction is that the money was paid into his personal account. But the explanation you have given didn't indicate that the money is actually paid to his personal account. Was that money actually paid to his personal account?
What we normally do is that we write a check in his name, and then he goes to deposit it in his bank account for the disbursement, because he has to cash the money to go to the field to pay.
So you wrote a check for 1.6 million, or you did it on the several occasions?
Yeah. And as I've explained earlier, no, the 1.6 million is for the entire year.
Yeah.
So the activities are basically 4 activities. We have community entry. So when he's going to embark on community entry, the budget for community entry is released to him by way of a check, and he deposits it into his bank account.
So if he deposits to his account
and disburses
no, so now you have an account into which you can write a check for the money to be deposited. Then whenever he's going to the field, the cash he withdrawn from that account, he take to the field. That solved the problem.
So, did you say that the account you have opened, he operates it? That means he's still the only person who go and cash.
The signatories to the university's bank account are well determined. So the management here are the signatories.
So it's no more a personal bank account?
No.
Okay. Then you agree with the recommendation. You have implemented the recommendation of the auditors. Okay. Chairman, thank you.
All right, so that'll be all for you. But there was an issue that was about the, I think that's SD Dombo. Yeah, involving SD Dombo University. That electricity bill costing 8.4 million was a bill that was incurred during the time that the university was won. And then when SD Dombo sent the bill to you, you also decided to send it to GTEC for payment.
that point onwards, we have even been given meters, and we pay as much as about 200 a month for electricity. Every public university in Ghana, I think, is now.
So this was incurred during the time the government was paying the bills for all the universities. So now that you send it to GTech, did you get a feedback from them?
Maybe we have to go back to check, because if my memory serves me right, I don't remember why giving us a bill of 8 million to be forwarded to the central government. I don't remember that.
But they told us, when they were here, they told us that they have forwarded the bill to you. You have SD Dombo, are you here? Come, join. Yes, you told us that you submitted a bill to UDS, which they have also forwarded to GTech. But there seems not to know anything about that. Do you have any evidence of that transaction?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, yes, we don't have the records here, but I recall that we actually forwarded the bills to Tamale, to UDS at the time, and they subsequently forwarded to GTech. There were discussions, about that. Maybe. Handled the issue at the time.
So that's from the UDS side. How about the SD Dombo?
SD Dombo, it was Professor Philip Duku Ose, the former Vice Chancellor of SD Dombo. Yes, sir.
So 2 Vice Chancellors were communicating?
Yes, sir.
So how did you get to know of this?
Honorable Chair, I was acting principal of the campus and played a role in the transition. And at the time, yes, we had accumulated this bill, and from time to time.
No, I'm only talking about the communication between the two of them.
Okay. So I am aware.
Was it verbal communication or a written communication?
Formal. We formally wrote, yes, attaching the bills. And I know that at the national level, there were actually discussions and agreement that the bills be forwarded.
But I'm surprised that the UDS is claiming they don't have any information about this. If it is formal, it should be on file.
I think, to be fair to ourselves, we'll go back to check it, because this is something that I think is very important. So we'll check on that. And
the bill needs to be paid, though. Yeah. Or ECG people are not worrying you.
I've been told about any 8 million.
No, I mean the SD Dombo.
Yeah.
Are they worrying you, ECG?
At this point, No, we do
Okay.
pay our current bills.
Okay. Do you have you been receiving bills from the UCG now? Currently, have you been receiving bills from them?
Yes,
I
yes,
don't-
Honorable Chairman. Yes, we do receive bills.
So, yeah, on those bills or on that bill, are there indication that there is an arrears of this amount to be paid?
Honorable Chair, no. As the Vice Chancellor of UDS has mentioned, we don't have the records, but it does appear that some payment was done. Just through informal interactions with some officers from NITCO. The problem is that when these things are done, there's no formal communication back, so that we all know that the records point to that. But it does appear some payment had been done, or it's possible that the entire, debt has been cleared.
I think that will call for the auditors to go back. The bills on which you pick this information, they should go for the same bills, those account numbers again, to know whether they have been cleared or not. That will let us know whether there is a need to fall on the government to make a payment or not. Because as we speak now, we don't know whether that amount have been settled or not. All right, so I think that will be all for you.
Chairman, I have just one request to be made. I want to thank you so much for the observation you made this morning regarding our colleagues from UNER. You did say that your house was going to make a recommendation for GET Fund to look into the stall projects at UNER. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for that and to add that UDS, we also have similar stalled GET Fund projects. If your recommendation could be broadened to cover UDS, we'll be happy. Thank you so much.
Honorable Chair,
you're also going to add it.
If you were to permit me, I would. I had thought that being the parent university, they handled some of the projects at SD Dombo. I think we have about 6-7 projects that have stalled, and it's a huge challenge. And we have submitted our priority projects a number of times. If we can have just two completed, it's going to help us.
All right, we'll take care of. We'll take care of the two also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
No, the first one is the UNEL. That one is one we want to recommend. Now UDS and then the SD Dombo have made additional requests. So that is why I say I will take care of the two of them, in addition to the UNEL. No, we'll do a general recommendation. When you get to the field, then they will determine which one. All right, that'll be all for you. You are discharged.
Thank you so much.
Now we have two more institutions to take. National Service Scheme, and then GIMPA. Kindly come forward to take the oath.
It's off.
Please come forward. Come forward. Raise your Bibles, the right hand. And God,
swear by the Almighty God,
that the evidence I shall give before this committee,
that the evidence I shall give before this committee,
touching the matter in issue,
touching the matter in issue,
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me.
So help me God.
Thank you.
National Service Scheme. Kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Mr. Chairman, I'm also SBMC Executive Director.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Eric Nyako, Head of Accounts.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Alfred Otino Osu, Internal Auditor.
Honorable Chair, my earlier introduction still holds.
Just reintroduce yourself.
I'm Nana Dr. David Anand Boni, representing the minister and the deputy ministers.
All right. Your first issue is the financial statement, APAC, paragraph 1456.
Thank you, Chairman. National Service, welcome. Looking at your financial performance, you seem to have done well comparing 2020 to 2021. As a matter of fact, you registered a surplus of over 19 million. Very, very impressive. But when you look at your financial position, which according to the auditors is also buoyant, you still notice that your liabilities also increased by 100%. And so that is my interest. If you could help us understand why your current liabilities increased by 100% in the year under review, 2021.
Mr. Chairman, our current liabilities for 2020, we didn't record any liabilities, but 2021 we're having some outstanding payables. So that amounted to that amount, 473,000.
So would this be related to the increase of the allowance that National Service personnel receive? Or this was prior to the increase in the allowance?
Mr. Chairman, please, this 473 wasn't part of national service allowance increment. It is our goods and services liabilities.
Mr. Chairman, the auditors indicate that the scheme did well, registered a surplus, and is in good standing as far as its capacity of meeting its short-term obligations are concerned. Thank you.
Boss, I just want you to educate me. Your non-tax revenue actually declined by 4 million. First of all, what constitutes your non-tax revenue and why did it decline?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, our non-tax revenue consists of our catering services, our 20% usual fees that we collect from the private agencies. We post national service to them, so the private agencies, they pay 20% to us out of the mandatory national service allowance. And then the last one is our farm process. National service, we cultivate, we do farming, so the proceeds from our farms. And then the deficit, the decline of the non-tax revenue in 2021 accounted to the decline of the user agencies requesting for national service personnel due to the COVID, because production and sales declined, so they also reduced their requests.
All right, Chairman, thanks.
Honorable Kofi Adams.
Chairman, thank you very much. I really want to find out what happened in relation to your personnel emoluments. I observed in 2020 it was 10,392,000, but in 2021 it dropped to 8 million. Was it what explains for such drop? Because you are the first institution appearing before us that is showing us a decline in emoluments. At the time, maybe salaries have been adjusted a little up. How can you explain that to us? And your goods and services also dropped quite drastically, 22 to 17. Can you explain these two?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our personal emoluments decreased in 2021 due to staff rationalization. In 2020, we did upgrading of staff, and then some were undergrade, so we converted them to their new grades. So those accounted for higher grades and higher salaries. But in 2021, we came back to normal payroll. So that's why you see the difference in 2020 going high, and then 2021 coming back to normal low.
Are you saying so you paid arrears in 2020 when you did the upgrade?
Yes, when we did, we paid arrears, yes. When we did the upgrade, yes.
Chairman, thank you.
All right. The next one, paragraph 1465, abandoned land and property. So you bought some 10-acre plot of land near Amasaman. And for 15 years, you have not done anything on the land. And the land is being encroached on by private individuals. There are two pictures in the report that shows a building on the land or buildings. So you are recommended to secure the land to avoid further encroachment. Have you been able to do so?
Mr. Chairman, we've been able to fence it, and at the same time, we've been able to get the indenture from the owners. And after getting the indenture, we have also proceeded to the Lands Commission, where we submitted all our documents for land title.
So have you received the title to the land, or the process is ongoing?
The process is ongoing.
Okay. What of those people who built on the land, as shown in the report? Did you, when you fence, it means that these people will be within the wall, or you left that portion that they encroach on?
Mr. Chairman, by fencing it, we actually fence it by getting them out of.
But that portion belongs to you. So if you fence and leaving them out, it means that you have ceded that portion to them.
Mr. Chairman, what we did was to have a meeting with the landowners,
okay,
reporting to them about what has happened, and they have promised to give us another plot to replace that. That is what we are waiting.
So what is the size of the one you fenced?
Mr. Chairman, I think I have to get back to them to measure because I don't have it offhand.
No, you should know what the size of the land you are fencing. The thing is 10 acres. Yeah. These have been encroached
Mr. Chairman,
on.
we are left with about 8 acres because it was 8 plots.
They took 8 plots. That's
no, we are left with 8 plots.
You are left with 2?
It was 10 plots.
Okay, no, 10 acre. The report says
10 acres. Sorry.
The report says 10 acres.
It's 10 acres, so we are left with approximately 8 acres because they built on 2.
So you are left with 8 acres.
Yes, please.
What is honorable member's order? What is service going to use the land for?
Mr. Chairman, we have paid a working visit to the place, and looking at the muddy nature of the place, we have reported to the board that the only way out is to get a private investor to support us in actually working on it, because the National Service, we cannot use our own money to be able to develop the land.
What kind of work are you going to do on it?
The question is that if you want to put up a building on it, it's going to be very expensive. So what I did was to ask about those who acquired it long time ago. And according to them, at the time of acquiring the land, the place wasn't muddy. But when development started around the area, all of a sudden, it was like a diversion of the course of the rivers. So that has actually affected our land in that area. So as at now, even if you are walking towards our land, a river which according to them its sources were at first diverting to the far right is now on the left side, which is getting closer to our place. So now the land is very good, you can develop it, but it will require a lot of money to go into it.
You can develop it to a residential place, or?
It can be developed into a residential place.
Honorable Kofi.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Please, did you say 8 plots of the land have been developed by encroachers, or how many?
No, I said 2.
So if it's 2 plots that have been developed, that is even less than an acre. Because 4 plots makes up an acre. So it should be 8 plots that will give you what? 2 acres. So if it's only 2 plots that have been developed, then it's less than an acre. Yeah. So you should still be having about 9.5 acres if it's 10 acres in all. So you should check I just wanted to help with the mathematics. But then you should be lucky that you haven't even developed your plots. If others have developed and are directing the water to your side, now develop by raising so that you send the water back to its natural course. That's all. So you are lucky that you haven't developed. If you have developed and you were down and they have raised theirs, then you say it's a problem. So now raise yours and direct the water back to its course. Then they will have to suffer to break theirs down and raise it up. So you should be lucky.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
What? You are protected by fencing it. Is it by block fencing or barbed wire or what?
It's barbed wire.
Barbed wire. They can easily break into that. Barbed wire. They can easily break it. Anyway, they should protect that place well. Oh. All right, let's go to the next one. Paragraph 1471, Honorable Kofi Adams.
Chairman, thank you very much. This investment not in use in mid-year, that's the mid-year water bottling plan. The auditors found out that though you've spent about 2,797,000 in this investment, it's still not in use. And they submitted pictures showing levels of deterioration. You responded by saying at the time of the audit that in few days the work will start. What's the status of this mid-year water bottling facility?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. After taking office, but the first thing that I did was to have a consultant to do an integrity test. And after that, I followed up by getting AESL to do valuation of the property and also to value the other activities that are left to be done. And after that, I presented it to the board. And then after discussion with the board, we all came to agreement that we need to engage a private, that is a public-private partnership. And that is what have been worked on. So as at now, we forwarded every information and those who have shown interest to SIGA. Because first what we did was to go to the Ministry of Finance for direction. And upon the direction, those that have shown interest to partner with us for the operationalization of it, we have forwarded it to SIGA for them to help us in the value for money audit on it. And after that, we will proceed in working on it now.
Chief Executive, or Director, sorry. I don't know whether you read paragraph 1477, the management response. You said consultants have been engaged to draw up a strategic plan for commencement of the factory. Plant, machinery, and other equipment are being installed and ready to work within some few days. Few days, not even few weeks. You said this, meaning that you were even few days. So, few days from the time of the audit till now. What you are telling us now looks like you are now even, as if you are now starting the whole project.
Mr. Chairman, the issue affecting the operationalization of the whole factory has to be with a very big drain that is in front of the facility, which got flooded and nearly even take over the factory at the time I took office. So we all went there and saw that until that factory, until that drain is worked on, it is not going to be feasible to start working on in the factory. That is how come we realize that looking at the issue that has happened, moving forward to operationalize it, you are just going to put the whole factory into test or into trouble, because when it rains again, like that magnitude which got flooded, you also lose the whole property. So the decision was that we hasten slowly, get the drain worked on before we think about operationalizing the factory.
Anyway, so let's see how quickly you work on the drain, because that's huge investment. I think it's a good investment. It's not bad, but when you continue to delay its commencement, even the machinery that you acquire could become obsolete, and new technology will come and you would have wasted money. considering the time lapse. Auditors, can you reconcile your report of few days and what they are telling you now? Have you been told this story, and are you satisfied with the new arrangements in place?
Mr. Chairman, we are abreast with the arrangement that they are doing to have a public-private partnership to deal with this matter. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Chairman, it's being looked at and it's not started yet. They are still within the few days period, according to my colleagues. That few days is relative. Thank you.
Director, this answer that you gave to the auditors about a year and a half ago, management, that machines were being installed and ready to work within a few days. Was that a well-informed answer, or you just told the auditors something just to get them off your back? Because a few days has moved into almost 2 years now.
Mr. Chairman, I took office, and I've told you when I was confronted, in fact, immediately I took office, the next 2 weeks, then that flooding issue happened. So as to my predecessor then informing this August House or informing the auditors that it was going to start immediately, that problem hasn't started, or that problem hasn't happened. But unfortunately, I came into the office 2 weeks and that major flooding took place. And I have to quickly move there, get even the fire service and others to draw the water from there. So I'm sure at the time my predecessor was giving that answer, he wasn't aware to be confronted by the nature incident that took place.
Paragraph 1478. How will you say?
Chairman, thank you. Chairman, the irregularity is that the National Service Scheme performed poorly with regards to their farms. Their act allows them to invest in agriculture, and so they acquire about 14 farms or farmlands. The auditors are saying that out of the 14 farmlands, only 12 were not active, only 2 were active at the time of this audit. And the essence of the farming project, one, is to teach national service personnel some techniques in farming and also generate revenue. But because of this inactiveness of the farms, they are losing revenue. You were asked to operationalize these farms at the district and regional levels. Are you able to do that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, the management structure of the farms has been restructured. The former project director has been relieved of his position because of non-performance. A new project director has been engaged, and this time round, the project director has now been able to put a lot of measures in place. And as at now, we actually have a very strong project management team, and then we also have a strong farm management team in place. So I can say to the members gathered here that last year we actually had a good story to tell, because now we are seriously working at our farm in Kumo, whereby last year we were able to cultivate even on more than 1,000 acres on the farm by producing maize, rice, soya bean. And apart from that of the farm that took place in Kumo, which attracted the Minister of Agric.
Director, you have 14 farmlands. At the time of audit, only 2 were active. Now, how many of them have been put to use?
Yes, for the information of this August House, the decision was taken that for a long time, National Service has been working on demonstration farm.
Director, how many of them have been put into good use so that we don't waste time?
For last year, we actually worked on 2 of the farms. But the explanation is that even though we were working on many of the farms, it was 500 acres, 200 acres, 100 acres, but we decided that we want to go into a commercial scale. That is why last year, concentrating our effort in one area, we were able to work on almost 2,000 acres at a go.
Director, what constitutes commercial farming? I am aware that at some of your districts, you have very huge lands. Take, for instance, Damango. You have a very huge land there that can be classified as commercial. Yeah. In any case, I do not think that the people who started this initiative, did not think through it very well to the extent that they decentralize it. So for me, if you have 14 farmlands, okay, and we're told that 12 were inactive, and the auditors recommended that you should make the rest of them active. You haven't done that. What you are doing is a different thing from the recommendation that they gave you. So the question is, the inactive 12 farmlands, what is happening to them? Because you invested money there. You paid money for those lands.
Mr. Chairman, the land has been well protected, but the reason why we focus on only 2 areas is as a result of the equipment holdings. To be able to work on all the farm, we would have loved to work on all the farm if only we have funding support. But looking at the money that was at our disposal and looking at the equipment at our disposal, it was prudent that we actually mobilize the equipment, put them at one place, then we'll be able to make profit.
So you agree with me that you have not gone by the auditor's recommendation?
We have not gone there because of lack of funding to be able to operationalize all the farms.
Chairman, out of the 14 farms that they invested the taxpayers' money to acquire, they are making active only 2, and the rest are still following. Thank you.
My honorable member and Mr. Chairman, like you did for the other university, I will also appeal to this House that indeed, if we are supported by this August House, and then we get support and get funding, we will be able to operationalize all. Because every year the university churn out 5,000 university graduates in the area of agric, and it will be in our interest to put them at good use by posting them to each of the farm sites.
Chairman, because he's talking about speaking for them to get more investment, that draws my mind to a very important policy that is being envisaged, to the extent that national service will now be optional. Do you think that do you think that it should be optional? And if optional, why are you asking us to?
Honorable member, if you put a question like that, he will say no. So don't even ask the question. The answer is already no.
Come on, let me land.
No. If you say, hey, order. If you ask him, do you think that it should be optional, he will say yes. So don't even ask. Because that statement is being made by the chief mates.
Let me ask you. I end it here. I would have ended very well, and the results would have been a different one. Anyway.
Wait.
Honorable ranking before Isaac.
Yeah, Chairman. When did you acquire these 12 lands or 14 lands? When?
Mr. Chairman, it's very, very long because some of them were acquired through Director Podway time. So I can say it's more than 25 years ago.
And my worry is that you have acquired 14 lands and you are not putting them into use. Your capacity, from what you are saying, can develop only 2 as at now. So if you acquire lands, you have made investment about 20 years ago, and you are not utilizing that investment. On Hans' side, do you think it was a proper decision to acquire 14 lands and work with only 2?
In the first place, I think that I cannot I cannot tell what informed the acquisition of the land at that time. But I think I have to applaud them for doing that, because now that we are pushing to become an authority, and we also have our policy rights in front of the president, as soon as we become authority, then the law is going to be on our side to be able to develop the land through SPAs and all the others and through PPPs.
So you said that last year the Kumawu side was very active and they produced a lot of maize. This project, if I understand you, is to generate revenue. And also train national service people on farming methods. So, did you make profit on the Kumawu operations last year?
Last year, we actually made a lot of profits, but we do not sell we don't sell it in a commercial value like others have been selling. And all the produce that we actually acquired, it was sent to the Ministry of Education to support the Free Senior High School.
So when you say you made profit, what do you mean?
What I mean by profit is looking at the money that actually went into production, and then when you value the produce that came out of it, then that one you can calculate to know that you've actually made profits. And profits in so many ways, because we had opportunity of getting the graduate trained practically.
Chairman, I just want to ask my last question, if you like. My last question is the scheme of training national service personnel on farming techniques is good, but what is the follow-up after that? Are you going to leave them to go and look for land to continue, or you have a plan to put them into some productive farming? I just want to know what is there.
Well, as at now, the new direction that inform NSS going for that large stretch of land, that is about 20,000 acres of land, was that after training them for the year, then we will prepare an aspect of the land, and those who have acquired the practical training and actually want to be planted into the farming industry, we will then resort into dialoguing with GA to have support for them, then go to all the other agencies like Maslock and all the other agencies that has been created, get support for them to move in. And currently, even those who did national service with that last year, out of the 50 who have expressed interest to stay, we are in the process of preparing a land for them and to make sure we plant them onto the farming industry.
Honorable Isaac.
Thank you, Chairman. Director, I want to find out, do you have plans to go into tree crop farming in future?
Thank you for the question.
Is it a public interest question?
No, Chairman, it's related to this one because they are using their farms to train the national service personnel. And if they have, plantations.
Okay, answer the question. Right, and you intended to only one question.
Mr. Chairman, the interest is there because the Minister of Lands, that is the Deputy Minister of Lands, Honorable Benito, will bear me witness that I've paid a working visit to him.
The former Deputy Minister. The
former Deputy Minister. I paid a working visit to him to discuss that issue with him as to if they will make some aspect of the degraded land to national service. National service will be prepared to work in collaboration with the tree crops to get it planted, knowing very well that if you go by that direction, we can get carbon credit. So I've already gone to have that discussion with him, and I've followed it up with a letter.
Honorable Edu.
Chairman, I want to find out from Director if members of Parliament who are commercial farmers who want to go into planting on some of their lands, what are the procedures?
They haven't taken that decision, so there is nothing like procedure about that. All right, let's go to paragraph 1486. Honorable Waka.
Thank you very much. Director, you send personnel to the following companies which were supposed to pay you. Amenfiman Royal Bank, Wayo Engineering Cocoa Board, Perseus Mining Ghana Limited, and they owe you to the tune of 37,564. Have you been able to collect this money? Thank you.
Honorable Chairman, Amenfiman Rural Bank and Wayo Engineering have paid the service charge. Cocoa Board is exempted from payment of service charge. So they are out. What is left is the Perseus Mining Limited, who has not yet paid the 6,260, but we have actually followed up. And my regional director even was at their office last week. So hopefully we know very soon we'll be able to retrieve that one also.
All right, auditors, can you please confirm what the man is asserting?
Mr. Chairman, the Amenfiman Rural Bank and Wayo Engineering have paid the service charge. Cocoa Board is exempted from the payment of the service charge of 5,366.40. However, Perseus Mining Ghana Limited is yet to respond to the request for the payments. Thank you.
All right, Chairman, I think that's all.
All right, pursue the recovery of the 6,280. Paragraph 1490, Honorable Chinia. This is on Hafasini, payment of national service allowance to personnel on government payroll, 5,031. The person is on government payroll, is doing national service, and is being paid again. The total amount 5,031 Ghana cedis, 36 pesos. You have to recover the money from him, one Mr. Thomas Guane. Have you been able to do so?
Mr. Chairman, the young man in question has been identified, that is Mr. Thomas Guane, and then letters have been written to him. My regional director has even had meetings with him in the office. He hasn't made payment, so we've written to his employer to help us to be able to get the money.
Who is the employer?
This employer is please, I have the letter here. Let me refer to it.
That's double salary.
Thomas Guane. That is Western Region. I'm looking for this Western Region. I can't tell what's the Western. Yeah, Western Region. I even mentioned it to you. Check me
Is that not a rural technology facility?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's the rural technology facility.
At Hafasini?
Yes, please.
So what is the response from the RTF?
Mr. Chairman, we are yet to receive response.
When did you write to them?
It was 10th January.
Of this year?
Yes, please. That is the last reminder.
When was the first letter written to them? What dates?
The first one was in September 2022.
And they have not responded to up to this time?
Then after that, even my regional director have had meetings with the gentleman twice.
And what is his position? Isn't willing to pay or not?
In all In all the meetings that the regional director had a meeting with him, he said he will pay, but then the time will elapse, the money will not come.
I think that he is not willing to pay.
That is how I see it.
Thomas Guani is not willing to pay. So regional director, kindly convey to regional director to ask the guy to pay the money, to make a commitment. If he failed to do that again, then he can report to the police.
Thank you.
Paragraph 1494, Honorable Ajay Boateng.
Thank you, Chairman. This one has to do with unearned allowance. Director, you paid one Elizabeth Nyamike, who vacated posts, an amount of 5,031.36. Have you been able to recover the money?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Ms. Elizabeth Nyamike has paid the unearned allowance, and it has been paid to the Auditor General Recovery Account at BOG.
And the information made available to the auditors?
The information has been made available to them, and it has been verified and confirmed.
Mr. Chairman, I confirm that the 5,031 has been recovered. Thank you.
Chairman, we are good to go.
Thank you. The next one is Mansun Kwanta. Another payment of unearned allowance. But in this case, there are 7 people involved. Ebenezer Kwaku, Edu Frimpong Gideon, Asana Amina, Boachi Prince, Amwaku Desmond, Apao, Boabing Thomas, and Gad Ofosu Mensah. $1,212.6.16. You have to recover the money. Have you done so?
Mr. Chairman, that of the Gad Ofosu Mensah has refunded the money, but the remaining one affirmed that they were at post, and therefore we have the attendance sheet and letters of completion of service from the heads of institution of the 6 remaining personnel have been submitted to the auditors for verification.
Have you done that reconciliation with the auditors? Auditors, can you confirm?
Mr. Chairman, confirmed. Thank you.
All right. The last one is also payment of unearned allowance, salary. This one unearned salary. It was paid to one Mr. Eric Frimpong, an assistant manager, administration, and the amount is 2,127. Has he refunded the money?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Auditors, can you confirm?
Mr. Chairman, the money has been refunded. Thank you.
Okay, that'll be all for national service. But there is a public interest question. Honorable Kwame Ngakpe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to ask from the National Service, what account for delay in payment of monthly dues to the people? Because sometimes
the allowances.
Yes.
Okay, there are service personnel in the hall here, so you are speaking for them. Why have you delayed in paying the allowances to them?
Mr. Chairman, first of all, National Service, we are widespread in numbers, and to be able to ensure value for money, we actually have to go through a lot of strenuous validation process, and a lot of them delays in the submission. The youth of today is not like us when we were doing our National Service, where we were taking to time that each of them to submit by 15th, then they will submit by 15th. Mr. Chairman, it will actually surprise you to know that we are now in February, but a large number of them even have not been able to yet submit their appointment letters. That is the current batch. That is the system, the youth that we are working with now. So always you have to be on them. And the way the system is structured, if you don't get more than 70%, 80% to submit, and then you decide to submit in pieces, it becomes difficult because first it has to go through the auditors. From the auditors, we go through the controller. So the process are long. So we are now actually speaking with the NASPA to be speaking to their peers so that this batch, we have a different story altogether.
So it's actually, the delay is not actually coming from any other person, but the delay is coming from the submission of the appointment letters or even their...
the process.
The process. No, but the process starts from the personnel submitting some kind of information to...
They submit it to the district.
To the district.
So first of all, they will go into the system, get it printed.
Yeah, so if they delay in submitting it, it delays the process.
They delay the process.
All right. So, I want to thank you very much. And I'm sure that all of us here have done national service. I did it when I finished my sixth form. And then after the university, I also did national service. And to me, it served as a training ground for me. And I believe strongly it applied to most of us here. I don't know whether if you conduct a survey today, asking the service personnel whether service should be compulsory or optional, the result will tell you that, hey, they want it to be compulsory so that it will serve. In fact, there is no job. And there's you finish school, and they said it's not compulsory. So government, you go to government, the government will tell you that, oh, it's not compulsory, I won't take you. I want to experience some working life. So let's leave it there.
Chairman.
Thank you.
Chairman, excuse me, Chairman.
You are discharged.
Thank you.
Let's have Gimpa.
Abuse of office. Power. Chairman, I also want to state that if you conduct
Gimpa, kindly introduce yourself to the committee.
Thank you very much, Chairman. My name is Samuel Kwakubonsu, Rector, Gimpa.
My name is Victoria Kumbu. I'm the registrar.
My name is Regina Mensa Onoma. I'm the acting director of finance.
My name is Lawrence Avevo, Director of Estates.
My name is Nana ACM, Director of Internal Audit.
My name is Augustina Akono. I'm the Acting Deputy Rector.
Thank you very much. You have 3 infractions. And you also have your financial statement. So, how is the university doing?
Chairman, we are managing. We're still trying to recover from the shocks of the COVID. Yes, believe it or not. Because we do not receive any money, we are not a subvented institution. We rely on our own devices. And so for the year 2020, between March 2020 and February 2021, we were shut down completely. So we made zero income, but many of our overheads remained, and we kept our staff. So a lot of the financial challenges that accrued at the time are still pending. But we are holding our own. We are doing reasonably okay.
Yeah, I could see that apart from 2020, at the heat of COVID, that you made a deficit of 22.3 million. In 2021, you bounced back to make a profit, a surplus of 11.7 million.
Yes, sir.
And I believe 2022 account and 2023 account will also show similar positive trend.
Positive, yes, sir, but not to the same margin.
Margin, okay.
Yes.
All right, all right. Your current ratio, rather, it's not that too good.
No, sir.
1.6, it's not good. We will encourage you to continue to ensure that there is prudent management of the finances of the university. Let's go to the management issues. And the first one is about absence of disaster recovery and business continuity process plan. According to the auditors, the school had no disaster recovery or business continuity plan in place, and they have recommended that you put in place a business continuity plan to deal with any unpleasant, unforeseen circumstances like COVID.
Yes, sir.
So we want to know if you've been able to do that.
Thank you very much, Chairman. We agree with the auditor's observation that we didn't have a disaster recovery plan, but we have since, and especially on the basis of what we experienced during COVID, it was so obvious to us that we needed one. And so following that report, we initiated various steps to the point where we now have a full risk register. We have looked at different policies related to risk management and recoveries from disasters. And we now have one for IT, and we are expanding it across the university as a whole. So we have responded very positively to the recommendation. And next year, or it won't even take next year, we've now done it. Policies are in place. We have it for IT, and we are going to expand it to cover the rest of the university. Yeah.
Auditors, can you confirm the actions so far taken on your recommendation?
Mr. Chairman, they now have a recovery policy, which is dated 19th of December 2023. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Paragraph 1405, Vice Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Now, your school is close to Achimota Forest, right?
It's actually in the Achimota Forest.
It's in Achimota Forest.
Yes.
And your land hasn't been registered. And you know how some of the Achimota Forest land landed in somebody's well. What are you doing about what are you doing about registering your land?
Okay. Thank you very much, Chairman. This is a situation that we had been following before the will was actually written. We were set up, as you probably know, in 1961. Gempa is the only part of the Achimota lands, because that whole area was owned by Achimota School. It was allocated to the Achimota School. Gempa is the only part of those lands that was actually paid for, bought and paid for. So we have all those receipts, and everything else that is needed to confirm our purchase of the property. Now, the challenge that we've had is with the Land Commission. Our act indicates that it is the government that should provide us with the land to do whatever we have to do. We've been pursuing this over the last, actually quite a while, about the last decade, trying to perfect the documentation for ownership of the land. The most recent iteration of that process came with a cost from the Lands Commission. Now, we are of the opinion that it is not for us to be paying that huge amount to buy the land on which we've been operating for 60 years, especially when the government, by the act, is supposed to be the one buying the land for us. So we have presented, we contacted the Land Commission for perfection, and then they gave us a big bill. And we have gone to the presidency because we report directly to the president. We've gone to the presidency to seek some relief on that, or for them to take care of it on our behalf.
How much are they asking you to pay?
In excess of 6 million cedis.
We have an incoming lands minister, deputy minister. His name is Honorable Akwesi Kunedo.
Yes. Who happens to be my brother, actually.
Oh, if he's your brother, then, Honorable, could you help your brother out so that he gets his land registered? Because
no, I will not allow him to respond to that question.
No, he will not respond.
If not, they will take him at the appointment committee. While he was acting.
Yes.
When he was not vetted and approved.
Yes.
So it's important for you to get that land registered because
yes, sir.
It's at a very prime area.
Yes, sir.
And you know what happens to Achimota Forest.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our auditors, could you verify what he just said?
Mr. Chairman, we are aware of the processes that they are going through to get the title to the land. Thank you.
All right. Your last one is on unavailability of investment certificates. That you have invested about 2.8 million Ghana cedis, which you recorded in your books or account. But you could not provide the team with investment certificates to confirm. Do you have the certificate now? Have you provided it to the auditors?
Honorable Chair, we made the documents available to the auditors when they came. Thank
Auditors, have you satisfied yourself about the investment they made?
Mr. Chairman, we have cited the documents. Thank you.
All right, that'll be all for you. You are discharged.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Honorable Isaac Opoku will stay here behind. All of us will adjourn to tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the forenoon. Thank you very much.
It's Friday. Oh yes, welcome to Spectacle. Soap Entertainment holds the This is the key element to the ultimate party.
We bring you good analysis from well-versed guests. This is where we argue, disagree, but at the end, we laugh it off.
Look, I wanted people to say, for once in their lifetime, which Ghanaians don't do that, to say, yeah, interview. I was saying, now look at the history of Reggie. Now, we'll see who said to me, dear, Reggie is the father of hip life.
No. You see, the ignorance is so huge that sometimes that's why I don't.
Ghana has consolidated and maintained good performance in its gold production sector. For over 1,000 years, gold mining in Ghana evolved and transcended the ancient kingdom.